you know, in Vancouver in a day in Cardiff, plus all the time you've been in studio. So I want to talk at least a little bit about the other stuff you've worked on. And I suppose it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask you about a certain cult classic comedy you were in. So I have to start off by asking, have you gone on holiday by mistake?
Many times. Many times I've gone on holiday by mistake.
For those who don't know, that is a line from With Nell and I, which was, I guess, your first big break.
It was the first movie I ever did.
And it was you and Richard E. Grant.
So it was. And Ralph Brown. Yeah, it was the first movie. And you know what? The only ambition that I ever had as a kid, I mean, when I realized I wanted to be an actor, was to be in a movie. Because it seems so out of this world, unlikely. I mean, you know, how are you going to get in a movie? And then suddenly I worked for 5 years and then I was in a picture. And that was it. That was the only ambition I've had. I've never had another one since. Or not one to top it anyway. You know, I could have stopped then and been perfectly happy. You know, I was in a picture. And it happened to be with you, and you know, it was fantastic.
I mean, do you
Did you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Most of you probably haven't seen it, and some of you that have might not even understand it.
It is the most quotable movie ever.
It's a strange movie. Like, for those of you that haven't seen it, there's no women in it.
There's no real plot
There's no plot in it. There's no car chases, there's no violence.
So basically, we should explain it. You and Richard E. Grant in playing these two out-of-work actors in the late 60s who sit around and get drunk all day.
Yeah, and some. Yeah. Basically, yeah, it's just two guys talking for 2 hours.
But
it doesn't. I ain't selling it to you, am I? I remember listening to the producer actually, literally trying to sell it in the office, and he was saying, and I was imagining the voice at the other end of the telephone, which I couldn't hear, and I can hear this guy Wimby going, "No, there's no girls in it. No violence, no guns." And you can almost hear the sales agent at the end going, "What are you crazy? What are you trying to sell me?" Just putting the phone down, you know. But this thing found its feet after 5 or 6 years and became one of those. It is a
very good film for anybody who wants to get the chance to see it. If you like British comedy, it is well worth checking out.
It really is, I think.
Now you've worked on some Hollywood.
That's my whole career, right?
I mean, do you find that you're best known for between Doctor Who and With Nell and I? That's what you're probably best known for, or what people recognize you the most from?
It just varies. Sometimes I walk down the street and someone goes, "You're in Luther," things like that. Or stuff you forgot.
Yeah.
Hornblower, that kind of thing. Stuff that was
Alien
3.
Alien 3.
Yes.
I'm going through my whole CV. I can't believe it. My whole CV on stage. How desperate is that? Available for bar mitzvahs. No job too small.
All right, we're going to open it up to the audience and ask some questions here.
Yeah, you do the talk.
But before I do, there is a question I want to ask you. Now,
why did your eyes narrow then? What kind of questions is it?
Okay, well, you know how the internet is, and there's lots of stuff out there that isn't true, but people spread it all over the place anyways. Now, during my research to prepare questions for this, I came across the rumor that around the same time you were being considered for Doctor Who, you were being considered for another iconic British character, fictional character.
What was that?
So I have to ask you.
Spit it out, man. Drum roll.
Do you know if you were seriously considered to play James Bond?
Never. Never. Actually, my brother was.
Oh.
My older brother was. But then he's tall. You've got to be tall to play Bond, I think. And I'm little, so they'd have to stand me on the box just to kiss the girl. And anyway, the baddies are that's the better role, isn't it? I would like to play the bad.
Is it a role you would have liked to have played if it had been offered?
I don't know, I think I might have been a bit embarrassed to play James Bond. Can you imagine me playing James Bond?
Yes!
Crazy, it'd be ludicrous. I'd like to be a baddie, you know, the baddie like sits there like blood, like stroking a cat. I think that's more me.
Well, the reason I ask is that...
Don't you think Daniel Craig looks slightly awkward? Great actor. But I mean, to be playing James Bond, I think Brosnan was brilliant because he looked like he was reveling. And he really wanted to do it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looks, but yeah, I don't know, it's a tiny thing, but maybe it's just an actor's thing, but I can tell. Daniel Craig, I think he's great in the role, but just behind the eyes, sometimes I detect, I can't wait for this to be over, you know? I can just go back to what I was before.
Well, the reason I ask you is that around that same time you were initially being considered, there was a British company that had the rights to do a Doctor Who film. Leonard Nimoy almost directed, almost got off the ground.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan was being considered to do that. So for you and for everybody in the audience, somewhere in a parallel universe, you played James Bond and Pierce Brosnan is sitting on our stage right now.
He'd have been a good doctor, don't you think?
I think he was in there. All right, let's open up.
He's too beautiful, though. I think he's too beautiful.
All right, this gentleman here has the microphone, so everyone get a hand up and he will bring the mic around to you.
For a small charge.
Oh, thanks for your donation.
It's like looking in a mirror, man.
Have you ever gotten or given any advice to other actors that have played the Doctor, or from actors that have played the Doctor?
No, but I got advice from, not given, I don't think I could advise anybody, but McCoy, when we worked on the pilot, and we spent a week together in Vancouver, he sort of put me right about it. Small things, you know. He told me how to enjoy it, you know, and try. And he said to me, I remember, in a long-winded way, McCoy uses 100 words. 6 would suffice, you know. But he described how, you know, not to try and cave into the pressure of, or think about what other people have done before. It's a fact of life with the doc. You know, remember when Matt Smith started? It took him a few months. Capaldi's the same now. It takes, you know, it takes the best part of a year maybe to just find, you know, a way of doing the thing your own way. And McCoy was kind. You know, he said you'll be great. You'll be fine. But no, I couldn't advise anybody. If in doubt, shout. That would be my only.
All right, let's get a question from over here.
Yeah, that young man in the front there. Give that man the mic.
So, how did you decide to make Doctor Who?
How did I decide to make it? Well, when we made the pilot, I suppose I had to do as I was told. I could have decided plenty of things, but they didn't let me. I could have decided anything, really. They said, no, you've got to wear this has to be this, because, you know, when you think, of course, there's so many iconic elements to the story, and a pilot, of course, is an unusual thing where you've got to try and cram everything into the pilot anyway, to let the audience, you know exactly what they're seeing. So there was no leeway, whatever.
Not to mention that wig they put you in.
The wig, yeah, I still have nightmares about that. That wig came out of a box that they just found in the corner of the street. And it's a full wig as well. My hair was...
You had just been playing an SAS soldier, and
my hair was cut short.
away.
And I was adamant that, you know, if we're going to make a pilot, this thing's been off the air for 5 years. Come on, we can have a break with tradition. Why, you know, I can see the Doctor in a leather jacket with his short hair. And Siegel said, "Are you crazy?"
Well, I think part of it is because I've seen your audition. I've seen your audition. You had longer hair when you did the audition, so
yeah.
that's probably.
It was long. It was really
Yeah.
long. Yeah. So so he was disappointed when I walked onto the set. My hair was short, but no, he was adamant. He said they'll never buy it. They'll never buy it. Leather jacket, never. They'll no way. Short-haired doctor, never. From the north of England. What are you, crazy? And 10 years later, I was sick when I saw it. He stole my life. Wasn't he great though, Eccleston? Very underrated.
Did you have fun playing as the doctor?
Yeah. Let me tell you, there's no point in doing things if you can't have fun. Because you know, acting is it's not a real job really. I mean, it's not a proper job. It's not like being a fireman or someone in the military or a nurse or whatever. It's not like that. So you're never in any danger, and but the hours are long, and sometimes there's a lot of pressure. But you have to try and enjoy it. You have to try and have fun, because in the end, all you're doing is dressing up in costumes and pretending to be people. And so it's like getting in touch with that 5-year-old child that's in you, and just having a ball. That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah. You got to try and have fun. It's important.
All right, I think we have a question right here.
Hello.
Hello. I am also an aspiring actress, and what you were talking about, how you only wanted to be in movies, like when you were younger. I was just wondering, on the set of like Doctor Who, do you think they would do you have advice for anybody that's aspiring to be on Doctor Who, or as like an American, would they ever have somebody that's American on Doctor Who?
I think it's inevitable. I think that I can see within 10 years there'll be an American Doctor. I just think it will happen. It's inevitable, because this is where where the centre of it will be. The centre will shift to American. And you know what? An American woman, I think, will be the next thing. I think it's inevitable. Pearl before swine. Pearl before swine. It's going to happen, folks.
No.
All you got to do is, we were talking about this last night when we had one of the tables here. Just picture Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
As the Doctor.
Yeah.
Or someone like that, someone of that caliber, someone of that ilk. It would be fantastic. It's going to happen. Definitely.
All right, we have a question over here.
Come on.
What would your dream role be?
My dream role. That's a tough one. I think, the older I get and the more, and I'm going to get serious for 10 seconds. My dad's been dead for 30 years and I miss him every day of my life. And but now I'm middle-aged myself, and I can remember more and more, I've grown into my father. I'd like to play him. But I can't imagine Stephen Moffat wanting to write it. So, I'd have to write it myself. You know what? That's my dream role. But I'll probably have to do it myself, so I can play my dad and try and understand him a bit better. That was very serious, wasn't it? But it was from the heart, let me tell you. That's my dream role. Yeah. We all turn into our parents, don't we? We all turn into our dads. When the kid, there's no escape. When the kids were little, I remember shouting up the stairs at them, and my dad's voice would just bounce back off the wall.
All right, we have time for one last question.
No way.
Good morning. If you could be any villain on the current Doctor who would you choose to be?
I want to be one of those weeping angels. Pound for pound, that's the best villain for 10, 15 years. It's so simple. It's so simple. I know if Colin Baker was here, he ruined the whole shock of it. The way he says, just whatever, just don't blink or whatever. Or just blink. But no, I think that, a weeping angel. That's what I want to play. There's one here, isn't there, somewhere? There's several. There's several.
All right, on that bombshell, we're going to bring the panel to a close.
I want to drink with them all in the bar later this weekend. Just being up on the table of weeping angels.